Assalamualaikum. For our video documentary, we are going to talk about poverty.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nawaidah Farisa binti Wasila and I'm the first presenter. Okay, what is poverty? Poverty is a condition where a person or the community does not have enough money to support their basic needs for their daily life. Basic needs that are mentioned in Maslow hierarchy in the lower bottom of the pyramid, which is first physiological needs, that is for air, water, shelter, food and clothes. In Malaysia, the rate of poverty, according to FMT in 2019, 5.6% has increased in 2020 to 8.4%. The number of poor households in Malaysia that is from Department of Statistics Malaysia in 2019 is 405.4 thousand households, and in 2020 it has been increased to 639.8 thousand households. Okay, poverty has three concepts, which is absolute poverty, relative poverty, and hardcore poverty. For absolute poverty, it is an individual who is unable to buy basic needs that is mentioned in Maslow hierarchy, which is food, water, clothes, and shelter. The rate of absolute poverty in Malaysia is 5.6% in 2019, and in 2020 it has increased to 8.4%. Relative poverty is individuals who lack the minimum amount that is needed to maintain the average standard of living that has been set by the society, which is they have enough money to buy basic needs but do not have extra money to buy other things such as drinks such as Starbucks, branded clothing such as Uniqlo, and many others. For hardcore poverty, households who have gross monthly income that is below half of the PLI, which is poverty line income. Poverty line income in Malaysia has been changed in 2019, which is 2,208, that has made more than 400,000 households in Malaysia has been considered as poor. It is based on the Department of Statistics of Malaysia statement. The rate of hardcore poverty in Malaysia, which is in 2019, is 0.4%, and it has been increased to 1.0% in 2020.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Firdaus Fitri bin Roslan, and I will presenting the issue that causes poverty in Malaysia. In recent years, poverty in Malaysia has been considered as an increasing visible phenomenon due to impacts of urbanization. Significant increase of population in a short span of time contributes to high speed of urban expansion, which cause various problems for local government. Excessive urban growth leads to escalating economic and social costs and contribute to the problem such as inadequate amenities and shortage of housing, which deteriorates the living standard of the urban population. Excessive urban growth imposes the burden of employment generation, increase unemployment rate, and consequently incidence of poverty. The acceleration of urbanization contributes to uneven distribution of development benefits between urban areas and urban rural areas, which creates some degree of regional imbalance. If the regional imbalance becomes wider, it affects negatively and national integration and unity. Next is economic disparity in urban and rural area. In rural poverty, the poor are discovered staying at a disproportionate level, in which they are predominantly focused on agriculture as their main source of income. Other than that, one of the main studies in developing countries is economic growth seems to be contradicted with income distribution, and finally results in higher inequality and failure in poverty elimination. The high number of urban poor is due to the process of urbanization. Thus, people living in urban area are moderately better off compared to those living in rural area. Urbanization is an approach that will activate economic growth. However, it will cause huge gap between cities and different social groups. There are causes where the focus policy on poverty reduction level does not bring towards slow growth rates. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Noraima binti Shafi'i and I am going to present the findings on the poverty which impact the child education. As we all know that the pandemic has worsened SDG global goals, especially to eradicate poverty and uphold education. According to the United Nations estimates, the global poor would grow by 119 million to 124 million in 2020, with Southern Asia has contributed for 60% of the increase. While according to the current forecast, the global poverty rate will be approximately 600 million people in 2030. Okay, next, based on the data from Department of Statistics Malaysia, shows that the number of the absolute poverty has increased to 8.4% in 2020 compared to 5.6% in 2019. Meanwhile, the rate of the hardcore poverty is expected to rise from 0.4% in 2019 to 1% in 2020. Okay, for example, the chart shows that the rate of the poverty for each state in Malaysia and the top 3 of poverty rate in 2020 has revealed that Sabah has the highest rate, which is 25.3%, followed by Kelantan in 21.2% and Sarawak in 12.9%. Moreover, in terms of world education, based on the data from UNESCO 2019, around 787 million children of primary school around the world, there are 8% of children do not go to the school, of which they don't have the chance to learn how to read and write. Where, based on this data, the highest rate of children in primary age didn't enter to school is 33.8 million in Sub-Sahara Africa, followed by 12.8 million in South Asia. Okay, the poverty is a major obstacle that is frequently linked to the poor children's education. Next, in fact that in Malaysia, urban poverty among children is around 11%. This means that these children are not getting a basic human rights such as nutrition, food, shelter, education, and healthcare. Besides that, according to a previous research, stated that the issue of the urban poverty and schooling in Malaysia has an influence on students in a big city, where, according to a report, around 87% of students has attended urban schools located in significant low-income population area. Furthermore, based on the headline of the local article stated that over 1 million Malaysian children are not in school and other problems with the education system, in which it has related on poverty, social issues, family issues and financial problems. In addition, according to a statement of Malaysia former Minister of Education, Dr. Mazli Malik, reported that 2.7 million children from low-income Malaysia households do not have sufficient money for school expenses and supplies, as well as hundreds of schools around the country are in disrepair. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
My name is Raya Hanem and next I will be presenting about the challenges. Challenges of poverty when it comes to education is the decreased life quality of the people, but in this case it is the children. Education is very important and could even be said as a basic need of a human being, since obtaining food, shelter and clothing will require a good education to ensure a better life condition of a person. But due to poverty, it can be seen an obstacle for someone to get an adequate and proper education. As for children, their education relies on their parents, in which parents who have a good life condition has better chances in giving their children a good education, while as parents who has a bad life condition will have less chances in giving their children an education. Household that is under poverty will lack in many aspects such as poor health, lack of education and illiteracy, lack of communication with the educated and having limited acceptance to the latest development. The lack of education will especially give an impact to the children long term, where through receive education, it will lead which life the children will be living in the future, since it will give them more options to choose from as they grow. The options is in a sense that they are given opportunities in what they want to do, what the career they want to choose in the future that could help them prosper. In which poverty can be said as a huge obstacle for children in receiving enough education and giving them a better life condition. Poverty is no longer a secret, as it refers to those who is poorer than those in high society group, And even so, the situation nowadays has led to difficulties for those in middle class since they can almost be equal to the lower society in the group. And those who does not able to provide themselves with the basic needs are considered living in poverty. At one point is that even if the children are able to go to school for education, there are huge chances that they will drop out from school after some time due to the insufficient sources to support them in continuing with their school life. Not only that, once the children are able to receive a proper education, this again will lead to an unpromising future ahead of them, and this could give a big impact in their life. In a way, there could be an instant that they might be criminals in the future, as it is the only option they have, and this could make the crime index rises in the future. If anything, it can be seen that poverty does play an important role whether the children could receive a good education or not, and its impact when the children does not receive them.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Aklam bin Muhammad Rosli, and today I will talk about the first suggestion in order to eradicate poverty. So my first suggestion is free education on skills development for poverty group. As we know, most people in the poverty line, in the poverty group, they just don't have the resources to further their studies. Furthering studies is very important because with furthering studies, they can open their mind, they can secure their future and secure their income. So one of the problem that they have is money problem, where they don't have the money to further the studies. Second thing is they don't have the mindset to further their studies. Why? Because of environmental influence. So with free education, we are focusing not free education on academics or theories, but free education on developing skill sets. For example, like TVET will help them to get the income and slowly improving the quality of life. If they don't have any education, the poverty line will continue by generations. So the skill sets that can be taught is, for example, business skills where they can start their own business. Second, haircut skills where they can be a barber. And lastly, digital marketing skills where they can be a digital marketer, and everyone is looking for digital marketer nowadays, because nowadays everything is digital. So these skills will not only help them to get a job, but it will also help them to generate income by doing a business. So business will generate more income for them, and these skill sets will open their mind and make them expert in their field. So by having income, we can eradicate the poverty. It's not good if we just give them money and they do whatever they want, but we give them the education so that they can do with their expertise to make money. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Anis Kalisha binti Muklis, and I will be presenting for the next suggestion, which is to improve the education fundings. Okay, so education fundings is to provide financial support for education through a variety of programs and techniques. And the financial fundings, and the education fundings or education aid should be directed, given to those who are in desperate needs, especially for the students who are from the lower income families, or known as the B40 students. Okay, and this financial aid will be able to reduce the burden of the low income parents to buy their children's school needs, especially for uniforms and books. And if they do not get enough financial aid, they will feel burdened. And once the pressure has reached its peak, there will be some students that need to drop out from school just because their family could not afford the simple school needs. And the government allocation for the students in need really plays an important role in reducing their burden. Even though the government
has done some allocations for the students, such as zakat. The government should improve more in helping the students in need for them to continue their study well. And since recently, the changes in the education system due to COVID-19 has affected the students from lower income families to study, because they need to have they need to have gadgets in order to study along with their friends. So, providing digital access for students from lower income families also will help them to study and blending in with their friends who have no problems in accessing gadgets and internet. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, in conclusion, the poverty issue in Malaysia needs to be tackled by the government in order to reduce the income gap in the society. Furthermore, all of the government programs for poverty can be seen as successful based on the statistics of poverty that is released by the Department of Statistics of Malaysia. There is a lot of program and also policy that has been conducted by government, which is a new economic policy, new development policy, Azam Tani project that is for eradicating poverty in agriculture sector, and many other policy and programs. And despite that, the government needs to conduct more programs in eradicating poverty, especially when the world has faced a challenging situation, which is a COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 that has impacted the society, especially for their income. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.